This is Carl Brosh.
Bross.
And Carl has hosted reunions in the past.
One in Cleveland.
One in Cleveland. What year was that?
I think it was 2002.
2002, one of the early ones.
Yeah.
Carl, could you tell us, let's go with the age that you went in and the years that you served and the time on the ship.
Well, as John Pruitt was saying, they were drafting, and Korea come along, and I got my papers from the Army to come in the Army. A buddy of mine was home on leave from the Navy, and I says, how do you like the Navy? And he says, it's great. He says, better than the Army. He says, 3 meals a day and you get a nice bed to sleep in. And he says, I enjoy it. So I went down and joined the Navy. And the day I left for the Navy, the Army's papers come through that they wanted me in the Army. So I got shipped off to San Diego and did my boot camp there in 1952, January. And that spring, after boot camp, I got transferred over to Neches in San Francisco. So I thought, well, we're going to be shipped off to Korea. So the day I got aboard, I saluted the officers of the deck and asked him where we were going. He says, through the Panama Canal and the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
I thought, hot dog, that was a great trip. Yeah. Took 2 tours of the Mediterranean. And when we come back to the East Coast, I went home on leave, and when I got back, they told me we were going to go back to the Mediterranean. So I had about a year to go in the Navy, and I didn't want to go back to the Mediterranean. So I put in for a transfer, and I transferred to the USS Vulcan in Norfolk, Virginia. And that turned out to be nice because I bought a car, and then I could go back to Ohio on the weekends on Liberty. So that worked out real good.
How old were you?
Well, I went in when I was 18.
18.
Got out when I was about 22. I got out a couple months early that year. My father died, and my mom, I got out on a hardship discharge about 2 months early. Help her out when I got back. I had a job waiting for me at Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company.
And you were from Wisconsin?
No, Akron, Ohio.
Ohio.
So, yeah. I ended up working at Goodyear for 40 and a half years as an engineer.
When did you get married?
About a year after I got out. Yeah. So.
Is there any experience on the Neches
on the
that
Neches,
really stood out to you?
The storms. We had a lot of storms in the Atlantic. And one time I had to go out on the deck to check a pump room. And the ship was rolling. And so I kind of opened the hatch up and looked out, and the ship would go down, the water would come up. So I decided to time it. When the ship went this way, I run out on the deck, close the hatch, run to the pump room. Before I got to the pump room, the ship went down. Here come the wave. I grabbed the post, and man, this wave just covered me up. That post hadn't been there, I'd have been washed overboard. That's about my scariest experience.
Good.
And I played for the ship's softball team. I kind of got it up. I used to play baseball a lot, and before I went in the Navy, I had a tryout with the Yankees, and I was a pretty good ball player. So when I got on the ship, I asked about a team, and the commander says, yeah, well, if you can get some guys together, we'll get a team up. So I got a bunch of guys together, and when we got over the Mediterranean, we would go out looking for a soccer field, and we would build a baseball. We'd put bases around in a soccer field. So we started calling all the other ships, and they'd send teams over. We ended up that first year undefeated. We beat every ship in the 7th Fleet.
Is that right?
And I was kind of the manager in a way. And I'd make the lineups. And I started a triple play one time over in Sicily. I'll never forget that one. And the only time in my life it could ever have it happen, you know, start a triple play.
Yeah.
And I batted cleanup most of the time. And then after about half a season there, I thought, I'm going to put myself up in first, be the first batter. That way I'd get more times at bat. And when I got out of the Navy, I started golfing a lot. And I says, I kind of like golf better than baseball. I says, at least golf, I says, I'm up to bat all the time.
Yeah.
Good. So I ended up with a pretty good golfing career.
Very good. All right. Very, very interesting.
Yeah,
It was a good time for you.
We had, good. Still got the good friends,
Good.
shipmates.
Are they coming to the reunion? Are you?
Betha and Gordon.
Y'all were all there together.
Yeah. Bob Chandler.
Okay.
Bob Chandler, he was our second baseman. He was in on the double play, the triple play.
Is that right?
Yeah. When we got back that game, we went back to the dock to catch the launch to go back to the ship, and the launch wasn't there yet, and they all grabbed me and threw me in the water.
Okay. Very good. All right. Well, thanks, Carl, for letting us put this on tape for us, and appreciate the service that you gave.
Thanks for the interview.